Welcome to another edition of Talking Lobos. I'm Brandon Ortega. Our Lobo insider, Lee Faria, is a bit busy. He's anchoring our newscasts at the station, so I'm going to take this one solo. Big game coming up for New Mexico. The Lobos will face the number 4 team in the nation, Wisconsin Badgers. Badgers coming off a win on Saturday against Western Kentucky, and they've got all kinds of momentum from last year. A 13-1 team. Right now, as I said, ranked the number 4 team in all of college football, and for good reason. They've got one of the best players in the entire country, running back Jonathan Taylor. He's just a sophomore, but boy did he have a freshman year to remember. He set the national record for most yards in a season by a freshman, just shy of 2,000 yards in his first year in college football. Very impressive. So that's where it all starts for the Lobo defense. You have to contain him. No one's been able to really so far in his young career. Taking a look at the Lobo defense first, recapping Saturday's game against Incarnate Word, a 62-30 victory over the Cardinals. A lot to improve on for the defense. They gave up too many yards. They gave up too many points. Something that they did do well in the first half, after they gave up the first initial touchdown, they got some good stops, some 3-and-outs, then eventually forced 2 turnovers, a fumble and an interception. So that is something to build off from the defense, but not nearly enough of those turnovers forced for Bob Davie. Across the board, looking at the film, there's a lot of things to fix defensively. From the defensive line to the secondary, really a lot of improvement to be made. But the secondary is where I would like to focus on. Jalen Burrell, one of the starting cornerbacks, and I talked yesterday, and he said he liked how the team really responded together in the film sessions, taking a look at the game and things that they needed to improve on, which was a lot. A lot of tackles missed, a lot of one-on-one battles with the receivers they lost. And Burrell said everyone in the meetings took absolute responsibility for the mistakes that were made. So that's a good sign. Your younger players, your veterans, everyone on the same page. Hey, this is what we messed up. This is what we need to fix. So that's a good attitude to have heading into a very big Week 2 game. So let's talk about the offense now. Tavaka Tuioti in his first start of the year, it couldn't have gone better for the most part. He did have 2 turnovers, a fumble and an interception, but outside of that, 5 touchdowns, 4 of them in the air, and he's the first Lobo quarterback, in fact, since 1998 to have 4 touchdown passes in a single game. So, yeah, that's a great start for him. The running game, some room to improve. They got a couple of touchdowns, but overall, from the beginning of the game, they got off to a slow start, and that doesn't bode well for the Lobo offense, because if the running game can get going, that really opens things up for the passing attack. Tavaka Tuioti did a lot of his damage while on the run, and that's not something you necessarily want to rely on. You want to have a good pocket presence. You want to have good protection. So if the running game can get off to a better start, that would allow Tavaka Tuioti to relax a little bit more in the pocket, have more time to throw, have more openings, more holes to see as he scans the field. So some good positives. I mean, 62 points, yes, you got to be happy with that. But the way the points came, Bob Davie said you can't rely on the big plays to bail you out. And that actually happened to end both the first quarter and the second quarter. Touchdowns to Elijah Lilly and Patrick Reed. I think of 40, 50-yard touchdowns to end those quarters. And yeah, like I said, those are great plays, but you can't rely on plays like that to bail you out on 3rd and long and to end a quarter. So a lot of positives to take out, without a doubt. Tavaka Tuioti, definitely a stellar start. But you have the number 4 team in the nation coming up, and you got to go to their house. Wisconsin, known for one of the better atmospheres in the Big Ten, maybe one of the better atmospheres in the entire nation. And getting back to the Badgers now, Jonathan Taylor, that is where it all starts. You got to contain him. Alex Hornibrook is a quarterback that has a lot of NFL scouts' attention. People think he could be maybe first, second-round pick if he stays all 4 years and continues to develop. So there's a lot of weapons on the Wisconsin offense. And then the defense, when I got to watch some of the Western Kentucky game, I was very impressed with the young talent they have on the team. They have about 9 players that made their collegiate debut on the Wisconsin team. One of them, a freshman safety, and Scott Nelson, he actually led the team in tackles in his first game as a college player, and that's very impressive. So that's going to be a tough thing to get ready for when you have young players. They don't have a lot of film you can watch. That's tough to prepare for. You only have really one game to analyze them and break down things you can attack on the defense and the offense. So a big challenge, needless to say, coming up for the Lobos. It's Wisconsin and New Mexico coming up on Saturday. Not a night game. It will be a morning kickoff, 10 a.m. kickoff Mountain Time for the Badgers and Lobos. We'll have some highlights of that game Saturday night on KOB Eyewitness Sports 4. So that's our another edition of Talking Lobos. Have a great day.